Caymans, Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With ORRETT Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, ORRETT.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today, of course, is Wednesday. What date is it? The 25th? 25th of February 2026, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road, because the life you save may just be your own. Remember, when you're on our roads and you're operating a vehicle, or even if you're walking, it's a full-time job that you're performing out there. You have to give full attention to what you're doing. If you're walking, then you shouldn't really be on your phone, texting or whatever. You need to pay attention to the roads. If you're operating a vehicle, you have to pay attention. It is a full-time job. You're responsible for your safety and the safety of those persons around you as well. You can't be eating your meals in your vehicles while you're driving. We know what happens. You can't be tailgating the vehicle that is in front of you. You have to keep your distance, because you have to give yourself sufficient space and time to respond to any emergency. You can't let other drivers dictate the way you drive. So if someone is tailgating you, you're responsible for the car in front of you. The car behind you is responsible for you. And while you have to exercise caution, you shouldn't let that driver who's tailgating you, trying to push you to go faster or whatever, do not allow them to dictate what you do. You have to drive the way that you feel comfortable. If you feel pressured on our roads to drive, then you may consider not driving on the roads as well. But it is essential for you to understand that you are in control. Full-time job, you have to pay attention. You cannot serve more than one master when you are on our roads. You have to pay attention. I'm going to continue to hammer that home, because we see so much irresponsibility on our roads, switching lanes from one lane to the other, cutting in front of other drivers. That is not what driving is all about. Driving should be a good experience if it is done the right way. So enough of my lecture for that. So for those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday, or if you celebrated one over the past few days, a happy belated birthday. And of course, for the record, birthday shout-outs proudly supported by Coca-Cola and the credit union. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes. From generation to generation, Coca-Cola, still a Cayman classic. And like I said, the credit union looks forward to serving the Cayman community for the next 50 years and beyond. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery. Again, this morning, we want to give a big shout out to our colleague here at Radio Cayman, Mr. Joel Wilson. Big shout out from all of the staff, all of your friends here at Radio Cayman. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension, for the record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. We are at the intersection of social issues, political issues, and breaking news as well. I have the distinct honor and pleasure of being your host. My name is ORRETT Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, phone lines are open. This morning, phone lines open from this time until 8 o'clock news. Then we will have guests in the studio. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp number 925-3261, where we do have a caller here on waiting for us. But first of all, I have to recognize those birthday shout-outs, those persons celebrating birthdays. So we see today Joseph Betty celebrating a birthday. This is coming from Facebook. Raymond Gale celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Miss Valda Scott celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Nikki Foster Carter also celebrating a birthday tomorrow, as well as Janice Brown. We have also been asked to send birthday greetings, coming up, to other persons as well. This device is sort of acting up on me a little bit, so want to share that with you. So here we go. Okay. We have been asked to send birthday shout out to Cayman's oldest living person. That is Miss Mary Viola Brown. She's 104 years of age today. She was born on the 25th of February, 1922. These greetings and love coming from her family, the Browns, Rochelle's, Ebanks, Parsons, Lawrences, and Campbells. Mrs. Mary Brown has 5 children, 13 grandchildren, and 17 great-grandchildren. She is originally from Watering Place, Cayman Brac, but currently resides in Georgetown, Grand Cayman. So happy birthday to you, Miss Viola Brown. Happy birthday to you. We have also been asked to send birthday greetings to Miss Tracy Ranking. Birthday greetings are coming from parents Virginia and Casdale, siblings Mark, Tiffany, Melissa, and their families. Another year of love and pride. And I should also extend birthday greetings to Miss Tracy Ranking from the cycling community as well. Her fellow cyclist, Miss Tracy, is an avid cyclist herself. She's also a member on the Board of Executives for the Cayman Islands Cycling Association as well. So we want to give a big birthday shout out to Miss Tracy Ranking. Also, Nicole Carter Quinlan, belated birthday greetings are coming from the Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four sending out belated birthday greetings to Miss Nicole Carter Quinlan. With that, let's go to our WhatsApp caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. We'll see how you're doing today, sir.
Good morning. I am fine. How are you? Good to hear your voice.
Yep. Same here, listening all the time. Quick a question and a comment, then I'll let you go. These buses, public bus and school buses, Mr. Connor, the police department, let me put it how I know it, the police force need to have a traffic department, which I understand it. I heard it somewhere in the air that they might be putting back the traffic department, because if the police, got to deal with a lot of stuff, but if they got a traffic department to deal with traffic alone, I think it would be better arrangement and better service. The buses, the public buses, they stop anyway right in front of you. They pull out right in front of you. I mean, it's like they own the road. The school buses, Mr. Connor, with these children in it, they need to slow down. I spoke about this several times already, but I noticed up until this morning, the school buses are driving too fast with the children in it. Something need to be done about that, sir. Someone is going to get hurt. I've been speaking about it and I'm tired because it seems like it doesn't make any sense. No one is listening. And real quick, what did you think about the Donald Trump State of the Union speech last night? What you think about it? Any comments?
I watched it, regurgitating the same old, not what Republicans need to hear, especially those who are facing re-election in the upcoming November midterm elections. So not impressive at all. I think all he wanted to do basically was to continue to break his record for the longest speech. It is all about Donald Trump and himself. Nothing else to offer.
I thought
That's
about
my view.
I watched it all the way, and all he was saying is, no other president did this, no other president did that, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and to me, the United States is in a mess. The United States is in a mess. And the Republicans, I don't know what to think. Because Donald Trump, like you just said, is all about himself and, his people, and that is it. But the United States is not doing good. The economy is not that great. And personally, I think he need to take care of his own house instead of want to go in everybody's house around the world and take control of that. So that's my piece for this morning. Have a good day, OC.
Thank you. You do the same as well.
I sent you some things few days ago. If you look on them,
will do.
I think you can check back on them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, have a good one.
Thank you very much. Before we go to our commercial break, so we wanted, of course, on Monday, I think I mentioned it, Honorable Linford Pearson celebrated his birthday yesterday, so we want to happy belated birthday to him as well. Also, happy 86th birthday to Miss Frances DeVito from her dear friend Adina, Norma, Jabe, Sister Ethel Jackson, also from church family, also Sister Christine and Brother Curtis, and Norma Jackson, rather than Ethel, Norma Jackson, and she's, of course, Miss Frances DeVito will be celebrating her 86th birthday tomorrow as well. So with that, we're going to go to our first commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
After severely depleting the turtle stocks of both Cayman and Cuban waters, the Caymanian fishermen moved their trade further south to the Mosquito Key. Turtling voyages were typically planned for 2 annual seasons, January to March and July to September. Fleets of 15 to 20 schooners and several small boats set sail from Grand Cayman for Nicaragua for approximately 10 weeks at a time. Upon arrival, the schooners would carefully scout along the shoals for coral outcroppings, narrow reef channels, white sand patches ringed by coral, as these were the likely locations that would harbor turtles at night to avoid shark attacks. The fishing spots were marked with floats of light bobwood anchored to big chunks of fossil coral, and before nightfall the men would return to deploy between 10 and 30 sets of nets over the selected spots. As sleeping turtles slowly rose to the surface to breathe during the night, they would strike the overhead net, struggle, and become entangled. In the morning, the men would return again to haul their catch.
Information from this historical vignette was sourced from the Maritime Heritage of the Cayman Islands by Roger C. Smith.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Saturday, April 18th will be the gathering of the future. The gathering of budding botanists, scientists, engineers, medical practitioners, marine biologists, and much, much more. The Rotary Central Bill Rudy Science Fair, the Ark, Camana Bay, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. The gathering of students from over 15 schools across the Cayman Islands. Save the date. April 18th, the Rotary Central Dr. Bill Rudy Science Fair, sponsored by CUC, supported by the Cayman Motor Federation. The future is sparking.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superhero shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Hey, new drivers. Don't just drive, drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
Fall in love with your space. Enjoy 30% off custom closets now through Saturday, February 28th. Why not give the gift that lasts? A custom design closet, perfect for his, hers, or both. Professionally designed, expertly installed. Hurry! Offer ends Saturday, February 28th. Don't miss this opportunity to save 30%. Brand Source Custom Closets, Dorsey Drive Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 today.
Yeah, let me tell you, no AC when I was a boy. I still remember just how good an ice cold Coca-Cola was.
The part is, the coolest moms and dads always had Coca-Cola at our parties.
The sound when you pop the top, and the fizzle, and that, after that first sip.
Coca-Cola, from generation to generation, that ice cold bubbly. Coca-Cola, still a Cayman classic.
Did you know that 1 in 4 persons in Cayman has been diagnosed with raised blood pressure, or that 14% of our population do not eat any fruits or vegetables, or that 70% of Cayman's adult population is overweight or obese? The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey gives us information on the prevalence of risk factors for non-communicable diseases, such as heart and lung disease in the Cayman Islands. Your health matters. Let's step into Wellness Cayman. Learn more by logging on to gov.ky/STEPS.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have 2 callers and we have 8 minutes before we go to our 8 o'clock news. Very quickly before we go to the callers, on that birthday greetings to Mrs. Frances DeVito. One of the names there would be Norma Jean. Norma Jean. I think I would have said Norma Jeb, but it is Norma Jean. So I just wanted to make that correction as well. Let's go to our phone lines. 2 callers. Each one has about less than 8 minutes. First caller, good morning. 4 minutes, sorry. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Osi. I'll take the 8 minutes.
Morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. I too would like to say, I think I did it on the WhatsApp, on the Facebook. Happy birthday to Dr. Linford Pearson, the senior prince of East End.
Okay. So that would be belated. His was yesterday. Mm-hmm.
Belated, yeah. And you heard me say it's senior prince. I don't know if you know it.
So there must be a junior. Prince. There must be a junior, right?
Yeah. I'm the junior prince, and I hope that the honorable Art McLean is listening to that. He'll call in and rebut that. But I am the junior prince, and Linford is the senior prince.
Yeah, I have to give him a call today, Mr. McLean. I haven't spoken to him in a few days now, which is unusual, so I have to give him a call.
And I haven't talked to him for quite a few days myself. My thoughts is about the way we used to be, the way that our ancestors, the politicians and things before us, had things in place. Mm-hmm. In the way that bill that encourage, because people come to Cayman because of the way it used to be, because of what we had here, encourage them to come. And as soon as we get some politician that comes along and wants to try and make some amendments to get it back to where it makes it Cayman, get our identity back, because every country also got their identity and they try to maintain that, But we're losing our identity as Cayman as we know it, because now we're getting so many different nationalities coming, that you got a little pocket of people over here that doing their thing and another over there. And, and I notice, like, if you go to various countries, even right here in Jamaica, you can go to the top restaurant in Jamaica and you're still getting Akin codfish. It might be on a more decorated plate. The plate might be a little more fancy, but they throw in the banana and or in a fancy restaurant. So, but where you tell me where in any fancy hotel here in Cayman where you can go and order anything that is Caymanian, what we know as Cayman cuisine. If you're a tourist or you're a visitor to the island, can have something like that. I think you experienced where we had two ladies that came to my place for 5 minutes stop and end up staying. They had at least a 10-minute conversation with you alone, and they were so impressed because they wanted to do something Cayman, and they end up meeting a Caymanian who took them and introduced them to the big group of us that was assembled, and they enjoyed the Cayman food, something they never had before. So as soon as we, like I said, as soon as we get somebody who comes along who would like to do some amendments to, get it back, then it got to go out for consultation and it got to go out for all this type of stuff. But there was no consultation or to change it from what it used to be to what it is at the moment. It would just change to suit whoever who suggested that it be changed. Without any consultation to the public, work permit term, rollover term, all those kind of things was just changed without knowing to the natives or going out for consultation.
Don't forget we got that other person now.
Yeah. So you mean my 4 minutes gone already?
yeah, more than 4 now.
So see, if I was running a mile, I would be to the end already because I used to do mile in 6 minutes.
Okay.
To the end.
Yep.
All right.
Talk to you.
Yeah, I'll talk some more about that on the
certainly.
next term.
Let's grab our next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, morning, O.C. How you doing?
Morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Good, man. I gotta get a joke. I hear my dear cousin George calling about Trump. And you saying we just running him out in America and the mess of it. He'd say that, blah, blah, blah. No. Oh, see, I remember one of the greatest musicians and philosophers, the great Robert Nesta Marley, a.k.a. Bob Marley. When he tried to come to Cayman, preaching a Rasta movement, reality, roots rock reality, he was denied, fully denied. When I was in my teen, that I had my hair ball up and things like that, they didn't want to give us a job playing on the 7 Mile Strip because we were going to play reggae. And then weed smokers, we didn't want them around there. That was barefoot man went and took over. History. Now that's history. I ain't asking about that. No, a young Caymanian can't get a job working somewhere because you got police like us for smoking gun there. But we got a convicted killer, entertainer, called Vibe Cartel. Wait, if you listen to his lyrics before, I wouldn't want my children to listen to it. Although my mouth not the cleanest in the world, my thoughts in there. But I don't get up on the stage exercising it. Sometimes I pull down my pants and show you my ass if you get me wrecked. But no, he is coming in now for the younger generation to look up at him. And we weren't about Donald Trump in the great America. And I can tell you something. How many traffic jams that is in Miami right now that people can't get to work and the children, you got to be afraid to get knocked down, go in school. And we worrying about them. Listen about now. We got looking at the mirror and now to Mr. Linford Pearson. I was very helpful in his first election, me and Seymour. And if you listen to Dr. Pearson, we would not be having this traffic jam. The man worked for years when he was there, a master ground transportation plan. And because he was, listen, never only because he was him, he was black. And they say, what does a black man know about planning the future? And he couldn't run the country after that. He couldn't run it because the white man took it over and governed him. But no, we got him doctored in Dr. That, Dr. Linford Pearson. I would call and cuss out every one of them. Thank you, Ossie.
Thank you very much. Before we go, we've been asked to send birthday greetings to dear friend Della Ebanks from the Golden Girls. Her birthday is tomorrow, so advance birthday greetings to Miss Della Ebanks coming from the Golden Girls. And very quickly, folks, breaking news. Press release for immediate release. Government protects residents who applied for permanent residency and Caymanian status under previous rules. That's a press release issued just now. Saw it on my email. 25th of February, Cabinet has approved drafting instructions for amendments to the Immigration Transition Act 2022 revision to provide clarity and certainty regarding eligibility for Caymanian status. The amendment bill also seeks to establish a legal framework for the expedited processing of immigration applications and to validate previously charged expedited immigration fees. That's just a part of it. Top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Ready to launch your career in hospitality?
If you're an ambitious young Caymanian, the DART Hospitality Training Program is your opportunity to shine.
This paid 4-month program gives you hands-on experience at world-class properties like Kimpton Seafire, the Ritz-Carlton, Hotel Indigo, Hampton by Hilton, and Bonnie Moon Beach Club.
Plus, DART has partnered with Lind University to deliver an intensive 2-week hospitality curriculum from an accredited institution.
Gain real-world experience, learn from the industry leaders, and open doors to full-time careers in hospitality.
Applications close April 6, 2026, with programs starting May 2026.
Apply now at dart.ky/hospitality.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. You may need to plan for a little extra drive time if you're heading into or out of West Bay. The National Roads Authority is doing scheduled works at the junction of Northwest Point Road and Town Hall Road starting today and continuing for the next 3 weeks. Work will be done from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. The NRA says this project will see the relocation of the junction further north of Town Hall Road with the installation of a sidewalk south of West Bay Beach. These changes are designed to improve lane organization, increase pedestrian safety, and support better overall traffic management in the area. A new agreement between Cayman Airways and the Cayman Islands Film Commission aims to support local filmmakers as they strive to showcase their work internationally.
For them, getting into an international festival is a huge deal, but actually getting to the festival can be one of the biggest barriers.
Brittany Keller is the director of the Film Commission, and she would know, having been an aspiring filmmaker herself.
By supporting outbound travel for Caymanian filmmakers whose work has been accepted to festivals within the Cayman Airways Gateway Network, we're helping to ensure that their stories don't stop at festival acceptance. This is about them being able to show up and be seen.
The agreement will also encourage and support international productions who want a great climate, film concessions, and easy access to major U.S. gateways. Cayman Airways and the Film Commission will coordinate travel for productions, promote Cayman at industry events in Los Angeles, and create packages showcasing Cayman's diverse locations. Today is also the official release date of The Bluff on Amazon Prime, set in Cayman Brac and directed by Cayman's own Frank E. Flowers. Cayman welcomes back the Department of Environment researchers who've spent the past 2 weeks on board the RRS James Cook as part of the Blue Belt program's Beyond the Reef exhibition. A team of scientists from across the Caribbean have mapped more than 11,000 square feet of ocean, ID'd nearly 10,000 specimens, and snagged more than 9,300 photos and 88 hours of video from previously unexplored deep habitats. The DOE says a, quote, particularly surprising find was the discovery of a number of ancient reef terraces along the slopes of Picklebank, ranging from 400 meters down to 700 meters. Even though these reefs could be tens of thousands to millions of years old, the skeletal structures were so intact, the team says it could clearly identify which genus of coral they were. The crew will be sharing their highlights and initial findings this evening at a port of call party at 5:30 p.m. at Village Cayman at Governor's Village. The Cayman Islands is stepping up efforts to keep its small commercial vessels safe on the water. Here's Radio Cayman's Elizabeth Charles.
The Cayman Islands government is partnering with the UK's Maritime and Coast Guard Agency, the Maritime Authority of the Cayman Islands, the Coast Guard, and the Port Authority for a new training initiative. The free one-day course, titled Safe Operation of Small Commercial Vessels, will focus on navigation, communication, and emergency readiness, all critical for anyone operating boats in Cayman waters. Training takes place March 12th through 15th at Inspire Cayman in Georgetown. It's open to commercial captains, tourism and water sports operators, and other maritime professionals aged 17 and older. Topics include collision avoidance, pollution prevention, and real-world accident case studies. Participants will also learn about skipper responsibilities and safety equipment checks. Graduates will receive a certificate of attendance, and organizers say space is limited, so early registration is encouraged. For Radio Cayman News, I'm Elizabeth Charles.
Registration details are posted online at radiocayman.gov.ky. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Emily Thomas. President Trump has hailed his first year back in the White House during the longest ever State of the Union speech. He stridently defended his policy of imposing tariffs on imports to the US. He also said America's borders were more secure than ever and that he would continue to clamp down on immigration and crime. The Democrats accused him of lying and scapegoating while enriching himself and his family. Sri Lanka's former intelligence chief has been arrested in connection with the 2019 Easter Sunday bombings that killed more than 270 people. Major General Suresh Saleh had faced accusations, which he denied, that he'd orchestrated the bombings to help get President Gotabaya Rajapaksa elected. That's the latest world news from the BBC.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
The results are in. 11% of Cayman's population have been previously diagnosed with raised blood sugar or diabetes, and as many as 50% of all persons living with diabetes in Cayman have never had a foot exam. The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey gives us information on the prevalence of risk factors for non-communicable diseases such as diabetes. Your health matters. Let's step into wellness, Cayman. Learn more by logging on to gov.ky/steps.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 74 degrees. Relative humidity is 65%. The barometric pressure is 30.05 inches and rising. The wind is northeast at 9 knots. Overnight low temperature was 69 degrees. Synopsis indicate moderate easterly winds and seas are expected to continue across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours as a high-pressure system lingers over the southeast United States. Radar imagery show no showers across the Cayman area at this time. Now, the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today is calling for partly sunny skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will be in the low 80s. Winds east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Forecast for tonight calling for fair skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will fall to the mid-70s tonight. Your winds will be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas also moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Low tide will be this afternoon at a minute after 12. High tide also this afternoon at 4:51, and a low tide to occur tonight again at 11:44. The sun will set this evening at 6:28 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:47. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Saturday morning.
On Angie, how does it feel to have broken the bull riding world record?
Sore, Sean. That bull was angry.
Angie, I think that bull is headed towards your red convertible.
I broke the world record and he broke my car. Oh well, at least I've got CG Comprehensive Motor to cover this.
Get covered for collision, damage, and more. CG Brit K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Brit K, where people come first.
Saturday, April 18th will be the gathering of the future. The gathering of budding botanists, scientists, engineers, medical practitioners, marine biologists, and much, much more. The Rotary Central Bill Rudy Science Fair, the Arc, Camana Bay, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. The gathering of students from over 15 schools across the Cayman Islands. Save the date. April 18th, the Rotary Central Dr. Bill Rudy Science Fair, sponsored by CUC, supported by the Cayman Motor Federation. The future is sparking.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning. Let's check in with traffic, see what's slowing and what's flowing. Crawlathon happening on Crew Road heading to Georgetown. Expect some delays. Further up on Shamrock Road, traffic is moving at a moderate pace. Further down, a little different story. Steady of traffic as you approach the Linford Pearson Highway. And coming off of Bobby Thompson Way and Agnes Way, traffic is steady. Moving on to downtown Georgetown on Edward Street, flowing at a moderate pace, and into Georgetown on Shedden Road, looking pretty good as traffic flowing moderately. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue, traffic is flowing pretty good in both directions, as well as coming from the West Bay four-way stop. Turning our attention to North Sound Road, steady but flowing traffic, and traffic coming off of the Esther Lee Tibbetts Highway is moving at a moderate pace. Also, the Industrial Park area, moderate flow of traffic. That's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes. After 12, we'll give you another look at traffic.
Craving something new? Dive into Subway's new seafood subs. 3 recipes inspired by the flavors of the coast, including the crunchy seafood bliss, the scrumptious chipotle tuna crunch, and the delicious breaded fish and ranch sub, made with our new breaded fish nuggets. Subway's new seafood subs. 3 recipes made to rock the boat. Only at Subway.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Radio Cayman Super Jam Show, the #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
Brought to you by these kind sponsors.
The Cayman Islands Football Association, CIFA, building a better future for Cayman football.
Cayman Insurance Center.
Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call me today, Michael Webster, at 925-5433.
UWI Open Campus, on-site, online, and on demand.
Visit open.uwi.edu. Call them today at 946-8322.
And Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola.
The number one drive time entertainment show on your radio.
Did you know that 1 in 4 persons in Cayman has been diagnosed with raised blood pressure, or that 14% of our population do not eat any fruits or vegetables, or that 70% of Cayman's adult population is overweight or obese? The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey gives us information on the prevalence of risk factors for non-communicable diseases, such as heart and lung disease in the Cayman Islands. Your health matters. Let's step into Wellness Cayman. Learn more by logging on to gov.ky/STEPS.
For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Before I introduce my guest this morning, I have a few more birthday shout-outs that I've been asked to announce. So we have been asked to give a birthday shout-out, greetings to my beautiful, loving, caring, intelligent granddaughter, Haley Solomon, who will be celebrating her 17th birthday tomorrow. Greetings are coming from your grandma, Michelle, and the entire family. And I believe I have... This one is, folks, just please bear with me because this one was sent to me yesterday, and if I miss it, I'm going to be in trouble. Oh, here we go. Birthday greetings going out to Mr. Berkeley Solomon on his 78th birthday. Birthday greetings coming from his children and grandchildren, great-grandchildren, wishing him all the best for his special day. We love you, Dad, from Nan, Jeremy, and Jennifer. So birthday greetings going out to Mr. Berkeley Solomon on his 78th birthday, coming from children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, wishing him all the best from Nan, Jeremy, and Jennifer. With those birthday shout-outs, and if you know someone who's celebrating a birthday or any other momentous occasion, share that with us right here on For the Record, and we will find a way to fit it in, even if it is past the sponsored time that is, of course, sponsored by Coca-Cola and by the credit union. With that, today being Wednesday, it is the day that we have designated for the members of the opposition to be in the studio. And for those of you who don't know the history of that, when I was approached about hosting a show for on government radio to talk about government issues and everything, I pointed out at that point in time I would be more than happy to host, even though I had no radio experience, no hosting experience whatsoever. But my condition was that if we're going to talk about what the government does, we have to also give an opportunity, extend that opportunity for other members of Parliament to be on the show. At that time, we had designated opposition. I'm not sure if we had independent members at that point in time as well. And that is how we end up with the opposition on Wednesdays. It used to be government on Mondays. Now it's government on Fridays and also government on Mondays. We have that flexibility as well. So with that little explanation for those of you who didn't know it, it's my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning none other than former leader of the opposition, former Minister of Finance as well, Mr. Roy McTaggart, and the Deputy Leader of the Opposition, current Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Kenneth Bryan. Gentlemen, good morning. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Corner. It's a pleasure to be here. Good morning to your listening audience. Good morning to the amazing Miss Susan, and particularly to my constituents in Georgetown Central. It's a pleasure to be here.
And good morning to, excuse me, good morning to OC. Glad to be back here on the show with you this morning. Good morning to my constituents in Georgetown East that are listening in, and to the wider Cayman Islands who I know are listening this morning, as they do most mornings as well. Glad to be back on the show.
Okay, and gentlemen, we know that whenever you come on the show, you have specifics that you want to talk about. You have an agenda, and I think the agenda this morning is even more exciting. Some of the things that you're going to be talking about, as far as your role as the opposition in our parliament.
Correct. Good morning again, Mr. Connor. First, I want to say apologies that some of the other members are not here. My honourable leader is dealing with some business off island. He's back on Friday. But as the public may know, we have a parliamentary sitting starting Wednesday next week, where there's a number of bills going to be before the House and a number of motions before the House. And that's our primary focus, is working on behalf of the people to be the King's Royal Opposition, not to overly critique the government, but hold them accountable, support them where necessary, and propose changes. So there's a number of bills before the House where we may go through some of them. But before we get started, I have a very important announcement to make. The People's Progressive Movement will be having its first meeting, and it's a listening tour kicking off on Tuesday, the day before Parliament. We'll be having that at the Constitutional Hall, which is in Georgetown. Those of you who may not remember or know what the Constitutional Hall is, it's better known as the Georgetown Town Hall, right next to the Public Library and right next to the Parliament. And the meeting starts at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The reason that we're doing this is obviously the government has been in now almost 10 months. And we took the position at the very start is to give as much support to the government as possible, give them enough leeway to get themselves settled in, get their policies outlined. And we think that, as the saying goes, the honeymoon period is now over. Not only that, but we've been hearing a lot of feedback from the public with some serious concerns. But we may have a viewpoint as to where we think things are in the country or what the issues are for the people. But we want to make sure that we're on the right track, focusing on the right things. So we're having a listening tour to talk about what issues are affecting the people of the country, a chance to come and see the official opposition members, from the leader and myself, the Honourable Roy McTaggart, Roy Tatum, the Honourable Perlina McGaughan-Lumsden, and former Premier Juliana O'Connor-Connolly. We'll all be there, an opportunity to hear some opening remarks about where we are as official opposition, what our plans are for the future, but also what our parliamentary priorities are on behalf of the people. And then we'll go into an opportunity to hear from the public. So I know many people have been dealing with a number of issues, whether it's related to the changes recently or the tax increases that are affecting a lot of people. That's been a big topic. Housing-related matters. We want to give them a listening ear, ask us questions, or even bring things to our attention that maybe not on our radar. So that meeting will be, again, I say Tuesday, March 3rd, and we're inviting everybody. This is not just for the elected members of the constituencies, for the members of opposition. Mm-hmm. This is for the whole island. And this is one first kickoff meeting to a series of other meetings. Our intention is to eventually go to every single district and even include Cayman Brac. But we had to spread them out over a period of time, just so everybody knows that we represent every constituency in the Cayman Islands, and even those who are just residents here in the Cayman Islands, because we all have to live in this together. So we will be doing some public service announcements throughout the days leading up to Tuesday next week. But I thought it'd be interesting to hear the very first one from our honourable leader, who unfortunately isn't here. But if we can get a squeeze on time, maybe on Monday before the meeting, we would love to do that. So I'll just play this one, and then I'm going to hand it over just for some opening remarks from my colleague, Honourable Roy McTaggart. All right, sorry, I apologize. I didn't even plan to do this like this, but here we go.
Joseph Hugh, your PPM MP for Georgetown North. As we grow, planning and development matters more than ever. On March 3rd, we're kicking off our listening tour at Constitutional Hall from 6 to 8 p.m. and I want to hear your views on how our communities are developing and what you want to see done better. Your perspective will help guide responsible, balanced growth for love of country.
So those are just some series that you'll be hearing over the next couple of days. And I encourage those who are listening, please set aside Tuesday evening, talk to your family and your friends and set aside some time to come down to the town hall. I'm quite sure there's a lot of issues that is on your mind that you want to talk to your elected MPs about. And again, we represent everybody. So that's our main focus going into Parliament. Roy, you want to add anything to that before we go into the Parliament agenda?
No. Turn the volume up.
Okay. Yeah.
I think you can hear me. Well, not really to deal specifically with that, but just to say, I mean, in terms of what happens next week in Parliament, I mean, we do appear to have a very full agenda for there. Even on the opposition side, there are, apart from the bills that the government has, and I think they do have a couple of government motions as well. So they themselves, it's about 6 or 7 pieces of legislation that I believe that they are hoping to deal with. And then the opposition themselves, as we do have a very full agenda for Thursday, which is, the public will understand and know, is Opposition Day. I've seen somewhere in the region of 50 questions have been submitted from the opposition. That includes us, as well as the 2 independent members of the opposition, Mr. Dwayne Seymour and Mr. Christopher Saunders. So there is going to be a full day of days of activities in this next session of Parliament.
So, Mr. Corner, just to specify what they actually are, because sometimes, the government and the opposition, we set the agenda, but I'd rather the people set the agenda. So if there's things that you think that we should be focusing on or bringing up, please feel free when we open up the phone lines to call in and say, listen, we want some attention on these particular areas, because sometimes what we think we need to do and what the people want us to do could not always align. Right. We try our best to make sure that they're aligned.
And they can, of course, send them to, sorry for interrupting there, but send them to our WhatsApp number, 925-3261 as well, in the event they don't want to call in or may not be able to get through.
Correct. Or things that they want us to talk about at the public meeting. So just to give you a list of what's going to be at Parliament, I think many times before coming on the show, we talked about the motions that we are bringing to Parliament. And there was 5 that I've already filed from about a month and a half ago. They're going to now be reprioritized, as they're not as timely as the things that we're dealing with today. So there is one that myself and the Honourable Roy McTaggart filed that I think has a timing factor, and it has to do, and I'll just deal with that one right now. And the motion says, whereas the official opposition have concerns as to the economic impact of the budget and the government's policies since the budget came into play, and whereas many members of our community have expressed concerns of inflationary impacts on families and businesses, be it there further resolved that the government considers tabling a formal economic impact assessment on the 2026-2027 budget no later than September meeting of Parliament. Now that gives us the scope to examine everything that we've been hearing thus far. The effect on business, the minimum wage coming into play. Does that increase the cost of living for business owners as well as Caymanians, and what the general sentiment is of the government's policies? Because the key component there is of the government's budget for 2026 and 2027. So it gives us a wide enough scope to talk about where the government is going, because I don't think that they have thought it all through. And I think we're starting to see signs of that now, where they're pulling back on this, reevaluating that, to the point where a lot of people are going, well, what's going on? Are you doing this? You're not doing this? That kind of thing. Now, there's justified logic to some of those changes, and we even support some of them. But I think it's time for us to analyze where they are and even make some suggestions, because the inflationary components are starting to happen. And I believe it's without even those particular fees coming into effect quite yet. Businesses are preparing for the increase in costs and therefore increase in their prices. So we want to talk about that because we believe that if they have done an assessment properly beforehand, maybe they wouldn't have made certain decisions because there's no denying that the public is being affected by it. So that motion is the one that we're going to prioritize on Thursday and on Opposition Day. So I'm not sure if you're okay with time before we go into the actual bills.
We're at 8:30 now, so why don't we take the commercial break and then we will continue this conversation with Deputy Leader of the Opposition, MP Honourable Kenneth Bryan, as well as the Honourable Roy McTaggart. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Fall in love with your space. Enjoy 30% off custom closets now through Saturday, February 28th. Why not give the gift that lasts? A custom design closet, perfect for his, hers, or both. Professionally designed, expertly installed. Hurry! Offer ends Saturday, February 28th. Don't miss this opportunity to save 30%. Brand Source Custom Closets, Dorsey Drive Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by CG Britke. Insurance, health, pensions, life, where people come first.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, we have in the studio with us this morning MP Mr. Roy McTaggart and Deputy Leader of the Opposition, MP Kenneth Bryan, talking earlier about the listening tour that will be embarked upon, talking about meeting at Constitution Hall on next week. The 3rd of March, and of course the next sitting of our Parliament on the Wednesday, the 4th of March as well. Gentlemen, back over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Connor, and thank you for opening that back up again. Just a reminder, we are having a listening tour meeting at the Constitutional Hall on the Tuesday, March 3rd, and Parliament starts March 4th, the very next day. And we've strategically picked that date, so our feedback from the public is as fresh as can be as we go into this very, very important meeting session, because we intend to talk about what the public sentiment is. And this is just another message from one of our members directly to you.
Hi, this is Honorable Paulina Magal-Lumsden, your PPM MP for Georgetown West. Strong health care and quality education are the foundation of a thriving community. Join us on March the 3rd at Constitutional Hall from 6 to 8 p.m. as we launched our listening tour. Come and share your experiences and ideas so that we can build better systems for our families. For love of country.
So you heard there, Mr. Connor, again, another one of our members showing support in respect to getting people to come out. The Parliament agenda and the government's business that they're planning to bring to Parliament, they have filed a series of bills, amendments to current acts. Just to list them out, we have the Registered Land Act. I think the Honourable Premier had spoken here on the show or at a press conference about it. The Traffic Amendment Act, which deals with the pedal cycle. The Litter Act, which increases the fees for various violations in respect to dumping. And then we have some financial services related ones. And before we get into them, I'll ask Roy McTaggart to deal with the financial services related ones, as he's well equipped to deal with that area.
Thank you, Deputy Leader. And OC, there are three pieces of amending legislation that are coming before the Parliament next week. They all have to do with, amendments to the Mutual Funds Bill, the Private Funds Act, Virtual Asset Provider Act, and they're all trying to accomplish the same thing, and that is really to deal with the issue of tokenized private funds or tokenized mutual funds, to put some belts and braces around it with regard to how this issue of having tokenized funds are dealt with, and puts regulation on there that gives SEMA the oversight responsibility to ensure that these things are dealt with properly, fairly, accurately, and in accordance with the law. It has to do with people investing and doing so. I think it is virtually making equity investments in these funds. So it's fairly simple legislation that are being brought to put the belts and braces around it, because it has developed quite rapidly over, say, the last year. And they're bringing now the amendments to these acts to allow for that and to allow for the oversight and regulation of tokenized.
And would this be in pursuant to our international obligations that we have, and also in any way in preparation for the review that we're going to have in 2027 as well, in anticipation of that?
I think it does. Personally, I think it does dovetail into that, so that we would be able to demonstrate clearly to the FATF when they're going through the fifth round of mutual inspections in 2027, is it? That yes, we have, it's an area of growth, not just here in Cayman, but worldwide throughout the industry. And we can demonstrate to them that, we're on top of it, and we have the regulations and the acts in place to deal with it. So absolutely, I think that is the case. The other one that I have to deal with and mention is an amendment to the Public Service Management Act. And it is a very simple one. What it seeks to do is to increase the normal retirement age in the civil service. It is presently 65. The proposal is to take it to 70 years. Now, I would point out this is it's not the first, but this is a private bill. It is being brought by a member of the opposition, not from the government bench.
Okay.
So it is a private bill, and yeah. So I mean, it's public knowledge. It's being brought by Mr. Christopher Saunders, and he will be dealing with that during this session of the Parliament. But it is seeking to raise the normal retirement age in the civil service to 70 years rather than presently 65.
So, Mr. Corner, you see that we are going to go through systematic analysis of each one of these bills, no matter where it comes from. These other independent opposition members, we have to do the same thing as we would do for the government bills. So we are doing our due diligence. We are actually meeting with the DG and Miss Gloria McField-Nixon on Friday to go over the impacts of an increase from 65 to 70 in retirement age for civil servants. There's obviously some pros, but there potentially could be some significant cons. So we're doing our due diligence, and we'll have our position available by the time we debate it in Parliament. But the spirit of it, we understand where it's intending, because there's a lot of people who are now retiring at 65 and still cannot afford to retire. And knowing the member well, the Honourable Christopher Saunders that filed it, I think that's his intention. But we want to make sure that we're not doing what the government is doing, is, unfortunately, in our opinion, rushing a lot of things without considering all factors. So we're doing our due diligence on that. And this week, particularly, right after the show, we're actually all meeting together to caucus, going through the various bills, which we've already started that necessary homework. Since we got a little bit more time, the next set of bills that are before the House, as I said, was the litter bill, traffic bill, the registered land amendment bill, which is a significant one. And the registered land bill is primarily focused on an act to amend the Registered Land Act to streamline the provisions impacting charge of land, to provide for a more informed pre-lending and pre-action process for incidental and connected purposes, basically around borrowings and mortgages for Caymanians. I think the government's intention here is to protect both sides of it, to make sure that we don't have circumstances where there's foreclosures like we've had in the past. Now, the spirit of that, again, we support any better protections for both sides of the coin, whether it's the banks or the mortgagee, or mortgager, is it? Mortgagee. Yeah. So we will continue to examine that. But our job, bearing in mind, I know sometimes we are critiqued as, oh, you're only complaining, but our job is to find the flaws. The government job is to present all the Goldilocks, beautiful things. And that scrutiny process refines the conclusion that we find in Parliament. So you're double checking on me to make sure I'm doing it right, so that what the conclusion is the best for the people. So we will examine what they have presented, what their legal drafters have put in the various clauses to interpret what the outcome will be, which is the end product for the Caymanian people.
And of course, you have to do your due diligence, because if it is something that you're going to support at the end of the day, that you vote for, then you're all going to be collectively responsible once you voted for it.
Yes. Agreed. Sometimes I see things a little differently in that respect, because the truth be told, it doesn't matter whether we vote for it or not. It's really more for us to say we supported that or we are against it, because they have the numbers, and we have to recognize that they are the government. I think what's more important is our analysis process, bring in more viewpoints, because the government is only going to bring the viewpoint that is pleasing to them. Our job is to examine all factors so the country has a clear view. So the official opposition is a very significant role in the filtering process and any conclusion for the country. So wherever we agree, we're going to get up and say we congratulate the government. We agree with you. We're happy that you're doing this, and we'll support them. But if we find things that are flawed, we would suggest to say, maybe you want to reconsider this. This is how we interpret it. Would you agree to make amendments? They may say no. They may say we've already thought about it. And that happens. And the good news is that the public sees that process through Parliament and then realize history will make its impact onto the end goal. The other bill, which is, I'm so happy about this one, and I will be doing a major contribution in it, which is the bill for the Act to amend the Litter Act 1977 revision to increase penalties for various offences under the Act, to empower Cabinet to make regulations creating an administrative penalty system in respect of offences and incidental and connected purposes. Basically, they want to increase the fines for persons who litter from 500 to 5,000. This is something I started when I was the Minister for Tourism and in charge with the Beautification Task Force. I had a team, actually, believe it or not, Ms. Teresa Lewis-Pitcairn was the chairperson. And her team did a very good job with drafting most of what's in this. It's just unfortunate we weren't able to get it done. So I commend the minister and the government for bringing this forward. But we're also going to add to that to say it's not only the penalties, there's some other things that we think needs to come along. Hopefully they're coming after this, and this is just one step into addressing the littering problem. But it's mainly to do with the fines of littering in the Cayman Islands. The other one that is coming is the traffic amendment bill, and I'm quite sure the government has come on the show already on their Monday or Friday show to talk about the redefinition, the term of pedal cycle for purposes of traffic licensing of these vehicles. Now, it's a bit contentious. We have not gone through the nuances as to what this amendment in the word of the law will mean for every vehicle that is used to get from point A to point B. There's a rather gray area from a push scooter to a battery-powered one, to a cycle one, to one that's using fuel. And though we have to get control of the cycle issue because they're kind of erratic on the road, and I know it's causing problems for many vehicle users, it does have an impact on the traffic because we don't want, if we were to think about how many people are using pedal cycles today and they were to transition to cars, the traffic would be even worse. So I'm glad that the government is trying to resolve this issue of the uncontrolled nature of it, but we want to make sure we don't deter many persons from wanting to use that because we think of it as a tool to reduce traffic options with vehicles. So we will be discussing that as well. So those are the bills before the House, and I'm not here to sell the government's argument, but just to highlight our job is to for people to know what is coming before Parliament.
Precisely. Okay, we're going to go to our commercial break, but I just wanted to point out also that the National Road Safety Council, they sent out a reminder yesterday, and I think Radio Cayman carried it on our news this morning as well, that the enforcement of the existing micro-mobility law will come into effect on the 1st of March.
Correct.
As well. Okay, and
when we come back from the break, I want to get into the more recent bill that was announced by the Minister for Immigration and Cayman Employment and Immigration, which is the bill to amend the Immigration Transition Act to provide for persons born in the Cayman Islands on or before the 26th of March 1977 to be Caymanians' right and some other matters. So we'll talk about that when we get back.
Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superhero shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Did you know that 1 in 4 persons in Cayman has been diagnosed with raised blood pressure, or that 14% of our population do not eat any fruits or vegetables, or that 70% of Cayman's adult population is overweight or obese? The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey gives us information on the prevalence of risk factors for non-communicable diseases, such as heart and lung disease in the Cayman Islands. Your health matters. Let's step into Wellness Cayman. Learn more by logging on to gov.ky/STEPS.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
If you or your loved one is facing cancer, only Sylvester will stand firmly by your side at every step, from diagnosis through survivorship, providing you and your family peace of mind and assisting with everything you need before, during, and after your stay with us. Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center is South Florida's only NCI-designated cancer center and specializes in treating the most complex cancer cases. Your first-class cancer care is just a flight away. Learn more at sylvester.org.
My earliest recollection when I was in high school is looking forward to Saturday mornings. Radio Cayman had my favorite show, the Top 15 Countdown. It was then hosted by Lomax Rankin and sponsored by Funky Tanks. A couple years later, I got a job there. I was able to host that same show all by myself. It will be a countdown of the 15 best-selling records on the island, one by one, till we get to the top. Those were the good old vinyl days. This is Alfred T.A. Radio Cayman. Want to wish you a happy 50th anniversary and keep on jamming till infinity and beyond.
For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, let me tell you that we have in the studio with us the Deputy Leader of the Opposition, MP Kenneth Bryan, and also MP Mr. Roy McTaggart. A few more birthday shout-outs here. Birthday greetings today going out to Carlin, Mr. Carlin, also known as Mr. Chucky Power, coming from this Customs Department, the retirees from the Customs Department. They're wishing him a happy birthday. And we also, this person wants to send birthday greetings to Janella Edwards, who is celebrating her birthday today. Greetings are coming from her husband, son, and other family members. May God grant her as more that he has ordained for her. God bless you, Janelle. And they're thanking Radio Cayman for passing that on. I believe I have covered all of them as well. And we had a question from one of our listeners. The person wanted to, let me find that again, in relation to a national vote. I'll find that and read that after. Yeah.
Well, first off, on behalf of the People's Progressive Movement, every one of our membership, our elected members, we want to say a special happy birthday to those two individuals. Mr. Poirier, I know, I'm glad he's enjoying his retirement and having a good day. For those who love him, know him, treat him right today. Before we went to the break, we were just going through the parliamentary agenda, and we finalized the things that we were talking about in respect to the government bills that are coming. But I want to take this opportunity for those who may have just tuned in, reminding that we're having a public meeting, a listening tour as we are calling it, the day before Parliament sits, which is next week, Tuesday, March the 3rd at the Constitutional Hall from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And for those of you who may not know where the Constitutional Hall is, it's the old Georgetown Town Hall right next to the town clock, next to the library, next to the Parliament, right in the center part of Georgetown. And just as we're doing our series of voices, asking people to come out, I want you to hear this one from our amazing Red Bay representative.
Hi, I'm Roy Tatum, your Member of Parliament for Red Bay. Real progress in our communities, from empowering our youth, supporting our elderly, to improving our neighborhoods, begins with a simple conversation. That's why I'm inviting you to our PPM's listening tour. We kick off on March 3rd at Constitution Hall from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Come share your ideas, voice your concerns, and let's talk about our shared vision for the future. Your perspective matters, always for love of country. Thank you.
All right, that was from Roy. So all those people from Red Bay and the Prospect area, please come on down to the Constitutional Hall on Tuesday to hear your concerns. Going back now to the agenda that we were speaking of, Mr. Connor, the last bill that was recently announced was the amendment to another amendment by the Honourable Michael Miles This one has only 4 amendments from the other 37 that was created before. Now, naturally, we've heard that those 37 have been delayed from implementation, which we respect and understand. The government wants to do it right. We even advised them when we were debating it from the very start not to rush it, so we support that approach. These new 4 that has been implemented or plans to be implemented has to do with regularizing or allowing for persons born in Cayman from 1977 in March 26 to be right of Caymanian and provide for them to allow them to legally charge for fees for expedited services, so your fast track program for the work permits, and for allowing the previous cost that they've been charging people to be legal. Now, I'm not here to sell their bill, but on the face of it, we're in support. There may be some things that we bring up that are that may be concerning. I've reached out as the shadow minister to the Honorable Michael Miles, and I want to thank him very much for responding to us. He's offered to meet with us to go through the various bills. Unfortunately, the meet that he's offered is after the sitting of the House. We need to meet beforehand, so I'm going to continue to see if that's possible within a short period of time, because what we would like to do as the official opposition is to iron out anything that we think may be controversial, say, okay, I don't think you should do this or do that, and here's our viewpoints, so it doesn't become a display of disagreement on the floor of the House, particularly with this subject matter of immigration. If we don't get that meeting before the sitting of the House and before we debate this, then we will just air our concerns on the floor of the House and try to do it in a way that it doesn't look like a disagreement. So that bill is coming, and I understand that the intention here is to implement the 37, and if the 4 is passed together collectively, to be 41 changes and bring them all together at a later date. Now, he's expressed to me when that later date is, but he did that in private, so I will not say what that is. That's for him as minister to say. Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming he will say that on the floor of the House when we sit in the next Parliament. The only last thing I would mention in respect to this is that it was gazetted on the 20th of February. The law and our standing orders mandate it has every bill has to be gazetted for at least 28 days before it could be heard by Parliament, unless the standing orders are waived by the Honourable Speaker for emergency purposes. I can't say that this has met that mark, and I've reached out to the Speaker to ask whether or not he will waive that, and the indications he's given to me is that he doesn't believe it met the threshold for that, and therefore the government may, and I'll leave that to the Premier to announce whenever they want to, delay the sitting of House after the conclusion of the first 3 days, so the meeting continues, so they meet the required 28-day consultation. So I don't personally think that this bill will be debated within the first 3 days, maybe a little bit later down in the month of March. And I think that that's the right thing to do, because with a bill of this sensitivity and the public's attention on it, you don't want to rush it. I understand he's doing consultation with the sectors of our economy and businesses, but also the average person needs to understand exactly what is being changed, and you need time to do that. So I would encourage them to even have a town hall meeting before this is debated, even though the changes are simple, in my opinion, but you don't want to be criticized of that. That's just a humble suggestion. If he doesn't want to do that, or the government doesn't want to do that, that's totally on them. We will be as balanced as we can in respect to this, and so far we don't necessarily see anything wrong with it. We may bring up some points for the government to be aware of. So I think that covers our agenda in respect to Parliament, and we want to remind again, going right back to our public meeting, because in the Progressive group, amongst us, we believe in proper representation. And the best way for us to do that is to make sure that we're in line with what the people want us to do. And the only how we know that is if we communicate. Now, naturally, MPs will go around in their community on a regular basis, touching hands with people. But to have a concentrated effort and of all people there getting up on the mic and say, I am not happy with this, or I'm support the government on this, or I need you guys to think about this, we feel that that's a better way to make sure that we are on the right track, focusing on the things that the people want us to focus on. So I want to encourage everybody out there. I know that there's a lot of things, a lot of pots on the fire right now. And if you don't like the taste of some of the things that come out of those pots, come and tell us about it. Again, that is next week, Tuesday, 6 p.m. at the Constitutional Hall. All members of the official opposition and the leader of opposition, who is our leader, will be there, and we'll be able to respond. You'll get to see the member from Georgetown East, the member from Georgetown Central, the member from Georgetown North, the member from Georgetown West, the member from Kimmerbrook, the member from Red Bay. And again, we represent everybody. So for people in West Bay, East End, North Side, please come on down as we do our listing tour. With that being said, I want to ask Roy if you have any comments before we open up the phone lines.
Well, we're going to be going to our headline news first, and then we can get the comments. I still have the question. As a matter of fact, I'm going to read this very quick. I got 1 second to do it. The person says, would you ask Mr. Bryan if he intend to move a motion for a referendum to change the current voting system to a national vote, as he promised a year ago? With that, folks, top of the hour, headline news. On the other side of the headline news, we will continue our conversation with Deputy Leader of the Opposition, MP Kenneth Bryan, and MP Roy McTaggart. So please stay tuned.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Big haul for volunteers with Plastic Free Cayman who tackled Beach Bay this weekend. Beach Bay is a vital nesting ground for local sea turtles, and while the beach might look clean from a distance, Plastic Free Cayman says the real danger is hidden in the sand, microplastics. More than 25 volunteers picked up about 190 pounds of garbage. In international news, Canadian actor Martin Short has said his daughter Catherine, quote, will be remembered for the light and joy she brought into the world following her death at the age of 42. Catherine Short was a social worker and the eldest of 3 children her father adopted with actress and singer Nancy Dolman. Law enforcement sources told the Los Angeles Times and TMZ her death was an apparent suicide. Her father, known for his roles in films such as The Three Amigos, Father of the Bride, and Inner Space, has postponed a string of live shows with his comedy partner, Steve Martin. And Tourette's campaigner John Davidson has said the BBC should have, quote, worked harder to prevent anything that I said at the BAFTA Film Awards to be broadcast, and questioned why he was seated near a microphone. Davidson, whose condition involves involuntary tics, shouted a racist slur while black actors Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were on the stage at Sunday's ceremony. The BBC reiterated that the offensive language arose from involuntary verbal tics associated with Tourette syndrome. The studio behind the film I Swear, which tells the story of his struggles with Tourette's and was celebrated at the event, held discussions with BAFTA before the ceremony about the possibility of his ticking. Those are your headlines. I'm Kersley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
At HSA, we strive to provide the highest standard of care with compassion, integrity, and dedication. And so we say thank you, Cayman, for continuing to make us the most awarded organization on island by voting us the best of Cayman Islands in 9 medical categories. Your support reminds us why we do what we do, to serve the Cayman community with kindness and excellence. To find out more about our award-winning services, visit hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Deputy Leader of the Opposition, MP Honourable Kenneth Bryan, and also Member of Parliament representing the constituency of Georgetown East, MP Mr. Roy McTaggart. So the question from our listener, would you ask Mr. Bryan if he intends to move the motion for a referendum to change the current voting system to a quote-unquote national vote as he promised a year ago?
Well, Mr. Corner, I think what we need to do is to have an overall review of our election system. I think that's been called from a lot of people over time, and the more I research that, it would have to have a constitutional change, which mandates that the opposition and the government have to be in agreement. There is something that is coming in short order, which is the Boundary Commission report, which is obligated by law. And I've said to the Premier on the floor of the House that from a perspective of 4 years, things move really fast. Can we get that Boundary Commission established quickly so that it can have it done in enough time for the next Parliament, for the next election, I apologize. And the indications are that they're hoping that before the end of this year. So I think that's the time when you start to think about those types of things. And at-large seats should possibly be considered as well. I personally think we should do a review because I don't think 19 members are going to suffice. The population has increased tremendously. And at-large seats would satisfy that request of, a national vote. Because there's some people who love the single-member constituency, and some others believe that it has some negative impacts. And I have to agree with both positions. So that's why there's hybrid systems in other parts of the Caribbean with single-member constituencies and at-large seats. So I would support it. I will be further advocating for the Honourable Premier in that review with the Governor. Can we consider that? Because it would have to take a bipartisan approach from the Leader of Opposition and the Premier and all members of Parliament to agree to do that, because it would take constitutional changes. But my answer is basically yes, but it probably wouldn't do it in a motion capacity because it would just take it longer. It's better off having agreement amongst members.
Okay, and I think you wanted Mr. McTaggart to sort of chime in to opine on what you had said before we went off to the commercial break.
I can't remember. I think we had wrapped up the parliamentary proceedings.
Okay.
But again, let me just take this opportunity because I want to open up the phone lines now. That's within the spirit of our intention for our meeting, which is the listening tour.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are affecting people right now. I know that I can't say how often every single day somebody said, listen, it's getting harder and harder and harder. And this is not an exaggeration. This is not just being an opposition member just to bring down the government. The cost of living, the atmosphere in our community has changed. People are finding it harder. Mental health stresses have increases. And that's not just to say that on the government. If anybody denies that, I think they're living under a rock. That's my opinion. And in light of that, what things are causing those feelings is what we want to hear from the people. We're trying to balance. We could be just your normal opposition just goes, I'm going to complain about everything the government does, and no matter what, I'm just going to say no, or that's bad. So we're trying to balance that mature approach. Believe it or not, Roy is doing a good influence on me because I'm a bit of a more forceful person, but his wisdom and time saying, listen, we have a responsibility. When we criticize, we have to do it in the right way, with the intention of the betterment of the people. It's not about us, right? This government wins, we all win. And we're trying to deliver that leadership symbols and examples. But we are hearing a lot of negative in the public. Maybe it's just because we're the opposition. And if there's a lot of positive, if the people feel that this government is doing an amazing job, come and tell us that as well. Because maybe we may be looking from one angle or one prism of things. So either thing, whether you're being affected in a positive way or a negative way, we want to hear from you. We want to make sure that we're on the right track, that we're seeing it the right way. So again, I want to remind the public, on Tuesday next week, at the Georgetown Town Hall, now known as the Constitutional Hall, all the official members of the opposition will be there for our public listening tour to hear from you about the issues that are affecting you, negative or positive. So we invite you all to come on down.
Do you want to talk any more about the format of the
yes
listening tour?
Well, the main thing is going to be a lot of listening, right? But our leader will obviously open up with some opening remarks about where we are as a group, what the parliamentary agenda will be, which is the very next day. So if there's things that you want us to say on the floor of the House and bring up, that is the night to come and tell us, because we're going into Parliament the very next day. So he will open up, speak about the generic, not generic, the things that are before us right now, how we feel about the cost of living, how we feel about these fees, how we feel about the immigration situation, where we think the government should go. So we don't want to be a talking shop on our behalf. You may get about 10, maybe 15 minutes opening remarks from the leader and myself. But then it's about opening up the floor to the public on the various different topics. You can come talk about traffic, about home ownership, about the cost of living, cost of doing business, immigration matters, whatever it may be. We want to hear from you. And again, this is not only about our constituencies upon which we were elected. It's every constituency across the country. We plan to do this over time across the whole island in the various different districts, but this one is even more timely from the perspective of we're going into Parliament the very next day. So it's a great opportunity. Please come on out. Obviously, we'll have some refreshments. It's not going to be a full meal. It may be just a sandwich and a bottle of water or juice, but understanding that it's going to be from 6 to 8. It's around dinner time. We'll have something for you to munch on. We wouldn't want you to pass out there while you're there with us. So please, we encourage you to come on down. And with that being said, we would love to open up the phone lines to possibly start doing that listening from now.
Okay, let me remind our listeners then, our toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. Landline numbers, 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp number, 925-3261. We ask of you that you be courteous, that you be respectful in terms of, how you deliver whatever it is that you're going to deliver as well. And why not take a commercial break now so that we're about 3 minutes before a commercial break. Miss Susan, can we come to you now with the commercial break? Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center.
The results are in. 11% of Cayman's population have been previously diagnosed with raised blood sugar or diabetes, and as many as 50% of all persons living with diabetes in Cayman have never had a foot exam. The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey gives us information on the prevalence of risk factors for non-communicable diseases such as diabetes. Your health matters. Let's step into wellness, Cayman. Learn more by logging on to gov.ky/steps.
Did you know that 1 in 4 persons in Cayman has been diagnosed with raised blood pressure, or that 14% of our population do not eat any fruits or vegetables, or that 70% of Cayman's adult population is overweight or obese? The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey gives us information on the prevalence of risk factors for non-communicable diseases, such as heart and lung disease in the Cayman Islands. Your health matters. Let's step into Wellness Cayman. Learn more by logging on to gov.ky/steps.
Celebrating 50 years of broadcasting in the Cayman Islands, this is Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're going straight to our phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning to your panel there, my good friend, the Honorable Kenneth, Bryan, and Mr. Tatum.
No, sorry, it's Mr. McTaggart, not Mr. Tatum.
Mr. Who?
Mr. McTaggart.
Roy. The other Roy.
It's the other Roy. Roy M.
Oh, my classmate.
Yeah.
How could I mistake you, my good friend?
I wonder.
Yeah. I'm in your constituents.
I know.
friend.
I recognize the voice.
Yeah. I support the caller who called asking about changes of the voting system, because I too would like to have that changed back, because they're not abiding by the way it should be run anyway, because once numbers increase in a certain area, the boundaries have to be changed, and you get this boundary commission, people who was very upset that it's not happening. So it seems like it's not working at all, because they're not adhering to the rules of the one man, one vote, as we call it. I think that and the status grant was two of the worst things ever happened in the Cayman Islands. Hurricane Ivan was a drop in the bucket to those two, because nobody can walk around Cayman now and say that we had any disaster. It doesn't show. So, but this one man vote is still lingering over our heads.
That's an interesting viewpoint.
And the chickens are coming home with the stupid status grant, So I would really like if you guys could look into what the caller mentioned a while ago about trying to bring a motion or a referendum or something to change it back.
Well, good morning, Graham. By the way, it's lovely to hear your voice, my brother. The caller the author of the text was actually about having a national vote where everybody can vote for the person. It wasn't about bringing it back to the district multi-member voting system.
No. I never said bring it back. I said change it.
Oh, change it. Okay.
Change it, because I too mentioned, or Sue can tell you, I talk about that many times in his show about me wanting to vote for everybody. I want to vote for 19 people.
Okay.
That's my idea. Okay. I want to vote for West Spain, Northside, everywhere, that when I come to you, when I come to my good friend, Honorable Kenneth Bryan, and ask him for favor or whatever it is I need, don't tell me I'm not in your, as soon as I turn my back, say, my constituents.
Well,
that's being said many times.
By whom? Not by me, though.
No.
Oh, okay. Because I take care of everybody. I love every constituent. That's why I broke. No,
that you can't say it to me.
Well, I get your point there, Graham, and it is definitely something that just actually off air, myself and Honorable Roy McTaggart were just talking about the need for one, increasing the number, and whether or not at large discussion needs to happen, and what the Constitution allows us to do in respect to that. So I'm certain that once the leader is back, we'll caucus together and potentially take a position in approach to Premier in bipartisan approach about the way forward, because I do think there is enough agreement across the island that maybe there should be at the very least a portion of at-large vote which will cover everybody, because remember now we went to single member based on a referendum, and majority of the people in that referendum voted in favor of a single member. So if you wanted to change it back, it would have to be by way of referendum again. But I do think that we could have at large a possibility while still having single member together. That's the hybrid. But we're open to having the discussion, and I'll see. I can only give you a commitment that the official opposition will come back at a later date and say, here's what we thought and here's what our views are on that. But I think there's genuine support for that kind of idea already. Roy, you want to add to that?
I would not agree with you with that.
Yeah. So before you go, is there any other issues that you think that you haven't heard the government or the opposition talking about that we should be concerned about in the country?
Well, I'm gonna echo my thoughts again. I mentioned it this morning. What you think about issues and policies that have been changed by politicians without consultation with the public, right? They change it, but now that it need to be changed back, now they want to come to ask for consultation. No, if you could have changed it in the first place to where it's not popular amongst the people, why don't you just go right ahead now and do the amendments and change it back? Why do you have to come to us now, asking or putting it out for consultation? No. You change it in the first place because of influence for outside sources. Now the people are kicking up. We want it changed back, and you don't have to come to us.
Okay.
Change it. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't subscribe to no consultation. Consultation, if done right, involves everybody. So because somebody or past legislators did not do the proper consultation with the people, it's like saying two wrongs don't make a right. So I can't say that because last ones didn't go talk to people that this administration shouldn't do the same. So I can't agree to that principle. But I see your concern whereby it's sometimes being used to their advantage, like, oh, go talk to the people first before you change this to empower Caymanians, right? And I get where you're coming from, but you don't want to throw the baby with the bath water. In this respect, because public consultation is about the filtering of the conclusion, because like the saying goes, two minds are better than one, and you give the opportunity to those who are the voters the opportunity to say, do you have an input here? Bear in mind, we are representatives of people. Politicians, this conclusion that politicians are the end-all be-all is something that I'm worried that we're losing. You are selected amongst your peers to go and be their voice at a bigger table to say, go tell everybody what we feel about this. And without you talking to the people about how you feel about this being whatever topic it may be, then you're not speaking on behalf of the people. So that's what is important, to have public consultation. Now, how you do public consultation depends on the government of the day. Some people like, I just released a document, go see if they read it or not. And some people never do. Some people go further than that. And I got to say and give credit to Michael Miles, the Honorable Michael Miles. He's done a lot more public consultation than many ministers have done in a while in respect to his changes. So I give him credit for that. But I think what you're saying is, man, I'm sick and tired of this. Mike, it'll just change it and protect Caymanians. And I know where that spirit comes from. But there's danger in that, whereby you do something, it have an adverse effect, and you this because you didn't give a chance for everybody to look at it before it was passed. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, but what about changing it where to suit outsiders, where it upsets the natives or the generational Caymanian? They never came to us a consultation then.
Well, as I said before, two rights don't make a... Yeah, sorry.
So, yeah, no. I believe we elect a group to make decisions. That's why we elect you guys. You all know, you all are grassroots Caymanians. You all know what is good for Cayman. So we elect you all to make those. If I elect somebody, the football captain of the team is the one who goes to the referee and make the decision on the behalf of the rest of the team. He don't run around and ask everybody there, because everybody gonna have a different opinion. We elect you guys to make those. We trust you all. That is the reason we elect you all. We trust you all to make the right decisions for us. Go and make the decisions.
Thank you.
Make the amendments. Because I have this new way. Think about this new puzzle. Not a puzzle, but a little quiz that I'm going to do. I'm going to ask the public, right, to get a sheet of paper on a Sunday after lunch, after dinner, and get around the table. Write down, give everybody a pen and paper, pencil, and write down all the problems that Cayman and Caymanian, generational Caymanians have, that in their opinion was caused by politicians. Okay? I know what some people got to say, well, I wasn't there then. We're going to flip the paper and write down all the problems that Cayman and generational Caymanians have, that in their opinion, politicians did nothing to fix or to amend. So if I don't get you in the washing, I'll get you in the rinsing, my grandmother said.
I like that. Mr. Graham, I want to give an opportunity for some other callers before we run out of time, but you have made some strong points. I encourage you to come on Tuesday night and voice your concerns. You may find that a lot of your peers, your fellow Caymanians, may feel similar, and our job is to listen. And I thank you for the advice, sir.
Or some may send him as a spokesperson.
Yeah, that's true. All right, do we have another caller?
Okay, Ms. Susan, any other call? No other caller at this point in time. Let me see if
allow me again to just say one more time for those who are listening, reminding the public the official opposition will be having a public meeting now termed as a listening tour, because the emphasis of it is to hear from the people on the relevant issues that are affecting everybody. And that meeting will be this coming Tuesday at the Constitutional Hall, right next to Parliament, right next to the library, right next to the town clock, starting at 6 p.m. The Honourable Leader Joseph Hugh, myself, Honourable Roy McTaggart, Roy Tatum, Perlina McGaw-Lumsden, Honourable, and the Honourable former Premier Juliana O'Connor-Conley. We will all be there to hear from you about the things that are currently affecting you today as we go into Parliament the very next day, which is the Wednesday, the 4th. So we encourage you all to come on down so we can hear from you about what's affecting you today.
Okay, we have a few more minutes before we go to our 9:30 break. So the person who sent in the question about the national vote, they say that you're still running in circles around the question. I don't think that you could be much clearer in terms of what you're saying. You're not committing to anything. It is something that all of the options out there need to be looked into. And I don't need to explain what you mean. You're right here and you can do it. You don't need me to do that for you.
Well, I appreciate you. I always need help defending myself, so that's okay. I guess the person wants a definitive answer whether or not I will support or I might bring in the motion. I think that there's more than one way to skin a cat. I think what the focus should be is that, do I support a national vote? And I've said that many, many times before I do. But how we get there is where we may be at odds a little bit. And I'm just trying to get it done the fastest way. I'm starting to slowly learn that you can catch more flies with honey than sugar, than salt or something, than lime. I can't remember how that saying goes. But I'm a bit of an assertive person. My mother. Those who know my mother is a bit of a strong-headed person. I get that from her. But I'm starting to learn to say maybe we can take a different approach in a more softer way and have bipartisan agreement. And if then that doesn't work, then you bring down the hammer. So my response was to maybe we can all agree. Maybe the official opposition and the official government members may all agree that we need a national vote before pushing it down and saying, okay, we, the People's Progressive Movement, will support this if we're elected. So we can probably get the same thing done. But again, those who are listening, if you have topics and concerns that you want to hear about, the phone lines are open. We want to hear from you about those issues.
Okay, this person said that they agree with Graham 100%. They also wrote earlier and wanted to mention that they support what one of our earlier callers before we started our interview with you in relation to school buses. And the person says, I'd like to mention that I support what the caller said in reference to the public buses. However, I'm not aware of other district school buses on their routes. However, I must state that I've noticed and acknowledged to some of the staff members of the late Mr. Garston Smith. It's a pleasure and pride to see how the drivers carefully, consciously, respectfully take their responsibilities for the job that has been bestowed upon them for the safety of students and the public at large. They are something to admire, the cleanliness of the staff uniforms and the upkeep and cleanliness of the buses as well. So this person was given kudos to the bus system in West Bay, and in particular the bus company that was initially formed by the former member of Parliament as well, Mr. Garston Smith. With that, we're going to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Fall in love with your space. Enjoy 30% off custom closets now through Saturday, February 28th. Why not give the gift that lasts? A custom design closet, perfect for his, hers, or both. Professionally designed, expertly installed. Hurry! Offer ends Saturday, February 28th. Don't miss this opportunity to save 30%. Brand Source Custom Closets, Dorsey Drive Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Hey, this is Lord Graham, as I'm known on Radio Cayman. My first early members of Radio Cayman was when they first started. We had a cousin of mine, Lomax Rankin, who was one of the first people to work for Radio Cayman. And whenever we were having a get-together or some sort of little party, especially on weekends, and then he would play Music Express, the music that we love or the music that we could dance to. So I want to say happy 50th anniversary to Radio Cayman, the best in the land.
For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Less than a half an hour to go in the show. In the studio with me, Deputy Leader of the Opposition, MP, Honourable Kenneth Bryan, and also the Member of Parliament, Honourable Roy McTaggart, representing the constituency of Georgetown East in our Parliament. This person has said good morning to you and your guests. sorry, I'm sending happiest of birthday wishes to my best friend, Carson Ebanks, a.k.a. also known as Pablo. And those birthday greetings are coming from none other than Mr. Clydas. Happy birthday greetings to his friend, Carson Ebanks, also known as Pablo. I believe one of our callers has rejoined us, so we're going to go back to that caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome back to For the Record.
Yeah, good morning and happy birthday to Carson, to my good friend. He known not to me as Pablo, because when you think about Pablo, that Escobar thing kind of comes into play. You know, I know him as a good sailor. He's a good sailor.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. For the MPs that are there, the honorable members there, what do you guys think about Caymanians who are almost forced to retire at 65? Have nothing to do with their ability to carry on, just because they're now reached that 65 mark age group, and they're also having a hard time getting insurance at 65 and beyond. But yet, we will issue a work permit for someone 65 and up here in the Cayman Islands, which automatically makes them also get insurance, because they need to get insurance because of the work permit. But yet, we don't want to give people insurance at that age, and we're not encouraged in any large way of employing Caymanians that have reached 65. We're trying to push them out of the door. And I don't think that is right, because if you really think about it, if you're capable of carrying on, you should have merits for that. Because if that was the case, my good friend who's sitting there right now would not be in Parliament if that was the case across the board. With being these are people who are running the country, running the whole entire country, that is over 65. That is over 65, but yet a Caymanian who sits somewhere in a little office and doing something have to go home and end up with Alzheimer's or something, because they were pushed out of their job at 65 and they're still capable of working. Which if you want to bring them down and then you find another sort of lower job for them where it's not so stressful, I agree with that. But then you should be able to bring in somebody who's over 65 on a work permit.
Well, Graham, you have a very valid point there. We were just speaking about that earlier, as to there is a bill before Parliament, which will be heavy discussions on this. I'm certain of it, where the Honourable Christopher Saunders has suggested moving the retirement age from 65 to 70. With the change of any working period in someone's life is a significant policy change. It's going to have a lot of positive impacts, and I am fully aware of what those are. You've mentioned some of those yourself. But also there's going to be some negative impacts. I give you, for example, naturally, I will look out for the senior person who's in a difficult circumstances, saying, listen, Kenneth, I haven't paid my mortgage off yet. I'm still good health and everything else. I'm strong. And with medical procedures today and medical assistance, people are living longer, so they can continue to work and give good value to a company as an asset. So I understand that. So why not make them continue to work? Then you look on the flip side of that, a younger person who's a professional and saying, listen, Kenneth, I've been waiting for this person to retire for a long time so I can move up the ranks, because I can't, there's a glass ceiling there for me as a Caymanian, can't be able to move up because this person is sticking in this position forever. And now that sounds a bit sensitive on both sides, depends on where you look at it, But there's also other financial components, liabilities that will come into play that we need to factor in. I'm not saying we don't agree with it. I'm saying we have to factor it in the long-term cost component. And I think this is where most of the discussion, and I'm hoping the whole country will be listening to that debate, because it's going to be an important one, because we have to see that with the advancements of science and medicine today, people are going to be living longer and stronger, and whether 65 is a legitimate period. There's also banks who are giving mortgages way past the age of 65, so you may find a lot of Caymanians in that situation. And I must admit that with the average voter being age 55, now considering retirement is only 10 years away, this is an issue that they want to talk about, as into how will they survive? How will they have medical coverage once they have retired? Can they afford it in this country? Will they be able to afford to retire with the pensions that they're getting? So a lot of things that are affecting those that are coming closer to retirement or just as retirement time, we have to start focusing on those issues like the health care, insurance, pensions amounts, or whether they can continue to work or not. So it's worthy of the discussion. I don't know if Roy wants to chime in on this.
Well, I would only make that the distinction that does exist between public and private.
Correct,
sector.
yes.
So, I mean, the amendment that's coming forward, that directly affects the civil service, and not the private sector, because there is no mandatory retirement age in the private sector. It's left up to individual entities to make and set what their policies should be. And I think, I mean, most of that I hear of, 60. I've seen it as low as 55, and so we go from 55 then upwards 60 and maybe 65.
Yeah. So thank you, Roy, for highlighting that. And Graham,
because what I'm saying, I understand what you're saying about people being promoted with somebody to retire, but what my thing is about giving people work permits to come in here over 65 when we're pushing our people out.
I agree with you there.
It should all be done on merit and their physical ability and their mental ability. Because, for example, you being a much junior person to the host of this show, you, my good friend Kenneth, Bryan, Honorable, cannot get on a bicycle on a Sunday morning and follow behind the gentleman who's sitting next to you for 100 miles.
I agree with you there.
You cannot follow that legend. So we need to start keeping people around because of their ability. Okay?
Well, thank you for that input. We definitely will have some of those as considerations in the debate, because the debate will be coming to Parliament in the next sitting. Mr. Corner, I want, for those who may call in again, as we have another 19 minutes to go, there is the Cuban situation that I think is a ticking time bomb and will obviously have impacts on Cayman. I want to hear the public's viewpoint on this, because there's going to be some cost factors if Cuba goes down the path of releasing a lot of people and leaving, and we have a lot of Cuban refugees show up on our shores. Whether or not the cost factors are being considered by the government, because I'm worried that with all the other constraints from a budgetary perspective that the government is going to be going through, and that's what we're going to be talking about in the next sitting of the House, where there's some of these fees that I think that they're trying to implement, that they're reconsidering or trying to formulate how to actually have them legally implemented, is going to have an impact on whether they're going to be able to balance their books at the end of 2026 and 2027, because the margins of budget surplus is so small. I think the first one is 5.6 for 2026, and then 10 or 9.7 for 2027. And when you rely on revenues that are being amended, the question is whether those fees, particularly some that are being delayed now, the timeline for them to come into action was supposed to be March 1st. So if you're going to delay it for another month, that means you've missed out on a bundle of revenue. Does that change your projections now? And your projections were already slim. These are the type of things that worry us, because you hear about the projections going wrong, heavily wrong the last time with other projections. I'm not going to go down that road again. But if you can do a good projection in the first place, and then your margins are small, and then you hear these issues coming up about not being able to implement them, am I going to be worried about having a deficit in the end of this year?
Now, the question that I would think about then to proffer to you would be, if the government makes adjustments in terms of some of the fees that they are proposing, because of affordability issues and because of the possible negative impact that they may have on people, then what would be your approach if the government then finds themselves in a deficit based on the fact that they have pulled back some of those fees that were factored in to that, having that small surplus? What would be your approach be then?
Well, I personally think this is why we advise them from the very start. Cut your cloth to the liking of your making. What I mean by that is that you've jumped out and put out policies of what the things you want to accomplish. And I'm going to tell you the truth, what I think the government did. They came together, they formulated the government, kumbaya, oh, we got the government. What does everybody want? Oh, we want this, and this. And they created this long list of things and said, this is what we're going to do. And then go out and find the money for it wherever you can find it to fit that, rather than saying, okay, there's things that we need to do. What is the reasonable amount of taxes and fees we can put on our economy and our people that will not have a negative impact, and fit our priorities into that level? They did it the opposite way around. And now they're feeling the pressures of saying, people going, hold on for a minute, you can't do all of that at the same time. You have minimum wage, all these fee increases on businesses, and the immigration changes. Businesses are going crazy. And now they're realizing, oops, boy, we need to recalculate some of this stuff. And we warned them about it. We talked about it. We said, listen, I understand you want to do those changes. Just slow down one little bit. The public wants everything instantaneous. It's like Burger King drive-through. But that's not how you run a country. So that's my view.
But we passed that bridge now, though. But we're going to take our break, and we have 2 callers on hold as well, folks. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive, drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
Fall in love with your space. Enjoy 30% off custom closets now through Saturday, February 28th. Why not give the gift that lasts? A custom design closet, perfect for his, hers, or both. Professionally designed, expertly installed. Hurry! Offer ends Saturday, February 28th. Don't miss this opportunity to save 30%. Brand Source Custom Closets, Dorsey Drive Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 today.
With ORRETT Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning with Deputy Leader of the Opposition, MP Kenneth, Bryan, and MP Mr. Roy McTaggart. 2 callers on hold. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you and your panel. Thank you very much.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Thank you. I think Mr. Bryan mentioned something about if we have influx of Cuban refugees. I would like to address that properly within a few minutes. Remember, before we was anybody, Caymanians went to Cuba. Jamaicans went to Cuba. The whole Caribbean went to Cuba. Cuba was the hub for the Caribbean and other places as well. I think we should be very cautious what we do, bearing in mind we cannot do like Jimmy Carter did, take them in with open arms. But I will say this, we have thousands of refugees in this island right now, and not from Cuba. We don't have any Cubans that I know about that was in the police force here, was charged with corruption and all sorts of disorderly conduct. I would hope and pray that the authorities that be, when it comes, and if it comes to the island, please remember, Cuba has been, even before Fidel times, very generous in helping the Cayman Islands like a lot of other islands. So I get kind of annoyed when I hear them talking about Cuban refugees. It's like they're so outcast. Remember, Cuba was the top of the line in the Caribbean. They were preparing to manufacture even vehicles. So not because we are so up on the top of the mountain that we should look down on other people. I will say this. You have a lot of people in this country that are not precisely good people in this country. They're not desirables, put it that way. And I hope they would look into those people that are here running all over the place. Some of them are getting benefits from the government that they're not really, shall I say, appreciative, and they don't really deserve it. So just remember the move that we make about Cuba. Yes, like I said, we cannot take everybody in with open arms, but at the end of the day, some of those people, not all, some of those people are well-bred, and if it comes that they can, really correspond or have a job, they should be given a chance.
Well, caller, I want to say thank you first off for calling in, because if the way I've delivered and my communications have led you to feel or anybody else to feel that I'm against the Cuban people, then I need to improve on my communication, because that was definitely not what I intended. Matter of fact, I have a lot of Cuban nationals who are friends of mine. They're really, really good people. And you're right, Cuba has contributed to the whole region for many, many decades before they get a really bad name for a lot of things. But my goal and my focus as a MP for Cayman is not about who the refugee is and where they're coming from, but the fact they're a refugee and they may be burdens of cost to the people's taxpayers' money. That's where I'm coming from, because I know that we have a large diaspora of Cubans here in Cayman that contribute greatly to Cayman, and we have a lot of descendants from the Cuban island. So I hope I didn't deliver that in a way where I'm anti-Cubans, and the progressives have a large support base of Cuban Caymanians that we love very, very much. Matter of fact, we would love some more. But we were talking more about the component of what will happen if we have thousands of potential influx of people here, and can we afford to take care of them, while at the same time Caymanians are saying, I need help too with NEU or with housing and so forth. My job as an MP is to love as many people as I possibly can, but love my own first. So that's where it's coming from. It's nothing about specific to Cuba. I mean, to be honest with you, we're actually going to be focusing heavily on those who are new Caymanians in respect to our support system. So for all those who are Cuban Caymanians, we love you. This is nothing against Cuba in any specifics.
Okay, we want to thank that caller. We have one last caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Ms. O.C. Good morning to your guest. I think it's Kenneth and Mr. Tatum there?
No, Mr. McTaggart.
Mr. McTaggart. So I thought if there was Mr. Tatum, I'm sorry. Okay, Mr. McTaggart, welcome back to the radio.
Thank you, ma'am.
Colin, I agree with Kenneth. We need to put Cayman first. But we need to emphasize, because again, I keep saying it. This OC knows where we're coming from. We were all there. I don't know if they changed the application when you were applying for Cayman status now. I do not know. But on the application, used to have before, are you Solomon? Solomon means that, in case those that are there do not mean, maybe you can grab dictionary, but Solomon means that you can provide for yourself. In my opinion, and as the majority of a lot of people's opinion, when they get Cayman status, where does their Solomon went to? Because they lied to us if they were not Solomon. So we need to stop babysitting these people and hold them accountable, because this is all we're getting is the milking of the cow. So we need to hold these people accountable. If you're not Solomon, I'm sorry, we are too small to take on everybody's burden. We're not, but we do not have enough Caymanians in this to say it was equal for everybody. So when NAU got to supply everybody that got Cayman status has now become Caymanian, it puts a drain on the coffers. So therefore, the government has to get the money from somewhere. So all like the roads, we've got drivers on the road who have no sense of driving. That's my opinion. Because what they carry on with, a few weeks ago, 4 school children could have got killed coming off of a school bus. The school bus is stopped in the middle of the road like how they always do, turn sideways. When the children was about to step off the bus, a driver comes on the left side of that bus where the children is being offloaded. Hadn't the bus warden and the driver not just those children back, we would have 4 dead children getting off. So these people that are getting licensed, I agree with Ms. Langman, raise the fee, because every Tom, Dick, and Harry and his children and his dog and everything is getting a license, and they do not know nothing about driving. So I am frustrated with this shit. Excuse my language, but we need to raise the fee. If it's $500, you want a license, you pay for it. That way you would know that you got to practice on our roads. They're not on a highway going 400 miles. They don't need to go 400 miles. We only got 45 minutes, and you can be from West Bay to East End driving at the speed limits. So stop the foolishness.
Okay,
well, Mr. Connor, I think you can sense the level of frustration, particularly with that topic by the caller, and I understand where she's coming from. A lot of Caymanians are feeling that way, so I don't think anybody's going to be upset with you today for that little small slip, because we're all feeling that way. This is, decades and decades of not recognizing where we would be, 30 years later, because what we do today is going to impact the children of tomorrow. And that's why we get conscious about that. And that's why I bring up the topic about dependent on the taxpayer's burden. You're right, the coffers are under pressure. And as these things come up, we got to be sure of that. And interestingly, somebody just sent me a message saying, Kenneth, thank you for so much for focusing on the finances and potential deficit, because the UK can take control if they want, if we have deficits. Now, obviously, there is extreme circumstances for that. The UK always works with the local government of how we're doing our finances. They have to be approved and all that. But these are the type of things people worry about. We don't want to be taken over by the UK. And as the wants and needs, as the Honourable Michael Miles said yesterday, continue to increase, we need to know how we're going to cover those costs. And unfortunately, my thing is, I think the formula that they have is not recognizing the growth and where it came from and where our revenues came from, and trying to squeeze out more money out of the current things that we're getting now, whether it's financial services, the local businesses, the average taxpayer on custom duties and work permit fees and labor costs. What we need to start doing is increase our options of revenue. Diversification, I know that this is like a buzzword, but we are now starting to even push back against something called development and growth. I know the natural response is, oh, we can't go no further, the traffic is heavy and all of that stuff. But we used to get a reasonable amount of income from that formula. Now, if we don't want that formula because we don't want to grow anymore, we have to know that it's going to come with some sacrifices like what we're feeling right now, where rather than getting that revenue growth or the duties and so forth, the government can't get it from there anymore. So they're going to now further tax you elsewhere. So I don't think that we've consulted with the people with the financial decisions and what they actually mean in the bigger picture. And it's not until we start to feel it, we go, oh, that's what that means for not doing that hotel or that growth or that new set of houses and roads and so forth. So I'm glad that we're talking about it, because this term, we cannot afford to go any further, because I don't think this will end well with this term for this administration with the decisions they're making. So it's almost that the people are learning as we go, because the progressives, particularly the Roy McTaggart, advise them from the economic projections of these types of decisions and what the outcome will be. And sadly, we're going to start to feel it first before people may come around and change their positions as to say, okay, we can't go along with this because that didn't work for us and our businesses. Mm-hmm. But OC, as we close up, I just want to reiterate one more time about our meeting, our listening tour, the People's Progressive Movement. The official opposition will be having a meeting on Tuesday at the Constitutional Hall from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. to hear from you, the people. The very next day, the Wednesday, we're going into Parliament. So we strategically picked that Tuesday to hear from you about the issues that are affecting you. We will give you an overview of what's coming to Parliament, what are the official opposition position will be on these various topics. But it won't be a pile of talking from us unless it's in response to questioning comments from those who come to the meeting. We will just give you a basic overview, which will be done by our leader, the Honorable Joseph Hugh, and then open up the mic, because we want you to know you have somewhere to go to voice your concerns. Because unfortunately, what I'm hearing a lot of is, I can't believe this is happening. This is they're not listening and what they're doing, and I want them to know that the official opposition will listen. We'll strategically try to find solutions to that through the parliamentary process upon which you gave us power to do. And we can learn this together. Maybe even some of the government people should come. The official government members should come, because this is the first time we'll have an opportunity for the whole public to just come and tell us what you feel, because there has been a change and the human behavior, quality of life for Caymanians, and I want a place for them to vent about it. Roy, before we close, you want to give any closing comments?
Well, I do, yes. And I want to thank you, first of all, to OC for hosting us this morning. Sort of feel like I need to make an apology, because I've been quite silent for the last hour and a half. But I just wanted to say that when I came in here this morning, sat down, we were just getting underway. I got a text from a constituent telling me that a constituent of mine, Jerry Manderson, had passed away last night, and that it has really set me off this morning. I've known him for a number of years, and the sad fact about it is that his partner for more than 30 years, Miss Verleen, had passed away less than 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago to be exact. So, both of them, members of the Georgetown East community, they lived on Fairlawn in the Fairbanks area, and both are gone. Jerry in his late 60s, and Verleen was a few years older than him, I do believe. So I just, that set me at odds this morning. Certainly. So I apologize to listening public as well in terms of
and we
my
certainly extend our
participation.
condolences to the family.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm going to squeeze this in very quickly. You heard the deputy leader of the opposition speak about the Cuban situation. Folks, I would ask you to please pay attention to what is happening at the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting taking place in, I think it's
St. Kitts.
St. Kitts, right? We see there's a shift. Kamala Harris, not Harris, Bessasar, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, who is the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. We have seen her taking a position in relation to Cuba. She has made a strong statement. Yesterday or today, Marco Rubio will be there meeting with them later on today. We see now in the Jamaica Gleaner, Cuban pivot. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has signaled a pivot in Jamaica's diplomatic stance towards Cuba, calling for a quote-unquote principled realism that balances traditional regional solidarity with a demand for democratic reform and open market transitions. Holness also warned that the growing humanitarian crisis in the Spanish-speaking nation could develop into regional problems, pointing to a possible immigration threat. Let me say this, right? Our premier is over there to this heads of government meeting. Many of these countries who are taking that pivot now, and that pivot is taking place as a result of pressure from the United States. The relationship that they have with Cuba as we speak has more to do with medical students and medical personnel going to their countries to assist them in their medical challenges. They have no proximity to Cuba the way that we have. So while we're only an associate member of CARICOM, we need to let these people know that, yes, they're receiving the pressure from the U.S. to back them and to put pressure on Cuba by no longer supporting them. But we here in the Cayman Islands, we have the potential to feel it more than anyone else. So while they play their political game with the United States,
we may be the ones getting negatively impacted in the long run.
Precisely.
Yeah. Very good point, OC.
Yes.
Very
with
good
that,
point.
With that, folks, have a great day. Don't forget to join Mr. Charles Glidden-Shallow at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctor's Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
This is the People's Radio Station.